Oh, you did it. Congratulations. Today's the day, huh? Today is the day you finally click the thing. You open up a stream. It's a little bit overwhelming at first, I understand. But you are crossing over into a wider world, my friends, because you are about to learn how to teleport a freaking match. That's right, actual teleportation, real wizard powers. That's what we sell here at the legitimate site Scam School. The only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. Hello, beautiful folks. My name is Brian Brushwood. If you're new here, I'm the internet's older brother, and hoo boy, I've seen some shit. And I'm going to share it all with you, and we're going to do it piece by piece on this, the 129th day of office hours. Office hours, of course, is where I touch base with you, the hardcores, the elite, the real ones, the Diamond Club. They're right down here. And today, we're continuing our arc of Scam School. Scam School was the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. Scam School is the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. And today, we've made it all the way up to episode 29. Learned a lesson on episode 29. It's a good trick. It's a very good trick. And also, I dodged a bullet because within the rules of magic, there's one thing you must not do. Just explain how a trick works so that you scratch the itch in someone else's mind. If that happens, then that's called exposure. Basically, you took somebody who was experiencing wonder and you robbed them of something. And that's bad practice. That is defaulting on the prisoner's dilemma, leads to a tragedy of the commons. This is all common ground, right? But in this case, the trick that I wanted to teach is a classic. It's called the homing match. It's where you take a book of matches, you take a match out, and you burn it, and then it vanishes and appears burned inside the packet of matches. But that one was appearing on, for example, Michael Lamar's Icebreakers, which was a premium VHS set of tapes that you could get at the time. And if I were to do that, too many people would just say, this is clearly just teaching stuff. This, again, for context, nobody knew what YouTube was, and this was not even recorded on YouTube. These were released as an RSS feed, so you had to be subscribed through iTunes to even find them. So it didn't have traditional television rules applying to it. By the way, shouts, oh my goodness, what? Whoa, that was fun. Yeah. Man, we had a good flow going. Shouts out to the real ones, Dylan Theus, Flo Chinachi, Nicholas George, Karo Metoriku. Happy Saturday morning, G. James B. Flying Car 100, Not Scary Steve, Princess Judith, and yep, there we go, we're all here. Excellent. Going out to all 5 nations, that's Scam School, Modern Rogue, LinkedIn, Don't Judge Me, X, and of course, the old schooler, the Mike Rulas, over at twitch.tv/Night Attack. So let me tell you a bit about where psychologically this performance is. At the time, there's no way you could call this exposure because you had, well, actually, no, I take this back. This is before I had investigated the framework of what is the difference between teaching magic and exposure of magic. But one thing that was very, very clear was below a certain quality threshold. In other words, if the tricks weren't so good as to threaten magicians or make them fearful, like if the magician felt like they learned something new, they tended to be okay with it. Or if they got something for free, if they were personally the winners. If it was a trick that they knew and liked and heaven forbid did, then it was very likely they were going to get their panties in a twist. Now, at this time, this is when Dan Martin had shown me this variation on the homing match principle. And to be clear, he 100% owns this variation. He could, upon creating something new, choose to publish it in MUM Magazine, the international magazine of the International Brotherhood of Magicians. MUN stands for Might, Unity, Magic, some union shenanigans I don't understand. He could publish it as a piece in somebody else's DVD series or whatever. There were a bunch of existing structures, but Dan Martin was a forward-thinking individual, and he didn't quite understand what was happening with Scam School. Again, need I remind you, 2008, YouTube, there was no Scam School on YouTube. YouTube was an itty-bitty baby, just 3 years old. It was the land of pirated content and the wilds. So nobody was thinking about YouTube at this time. He knew that somehow Scam School was creating buzz and magicians were discovering video podcasts and podcasts writ large. And he was kind enough to, at a convention, show me this and say, hey, if you ever want to do this on Scam School, I would love for that. And so, number one, because I am generous and kind and sharing of the spotlight, I made sure to put his name right there in the title, much to the chagrin of the view counts. It turns out titles like Scam Hot Chicks at the Bar do better than titles like Dan Martin's Match Tricks. But this is a fine little trick that works without any sleight of hand. There's one fake take, and then you just drop the match on the ground. You'll notice some interesting snark that kind of appears to come out of nowhere and is especially different right now in this historical moment. You'll understand it when you see it. And then also, you'll notice that I repeat myself a few times, and this is in that mushy middle when I had done enough performing on camera to know that a stumbled take, you were better off backing up and giving it again clean. But it was before I had the capital to tell anybody at Revision 3 how to edit their stuff. They were the gods of editing and production, and everything was in-house. So I used my coupons judiciously on the edits. So as a result, you'll get kind of a, let's say, more relaxed energy from a less polished Brian. But I think this is a worthy moment. As we're always doing, your job during the video, we're going to watch the entire video, and then you guys will have questions or comments in there that we'll address. Afterwards, we're going to play the guessing game. Lock in your bet. How many views in the 16 years this has been on YouTube do you think episode 29, Dan Martin's Match Trick, gets? You guys evaluate that. Then we'll do a comment bomb, and then we will come back with more. Here we go. Dan Martin's Match Trick.
Hi gang, we just launched 7 new shows at revision3beta.com covering everything from hacking to music lessons, drinking to future sex. 7 shows, so check out revision3beta.com today. Future sex?
This episode of Scam School brought to you by GoDaddy.com. Welcome to the show that considers itself your dedicated wingman, Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the streets. I'm your host, Brian Brushwood, and at a conference recently, a magician friend of mine, a very talented, very smart fellow, came up with a new take on a trick I'd seen before. I liked it so much, I'm going to share it with you guys. We'll call it Dan's Match Trick. Hey, how's it going? I'm Brian. What's your name?
I'm Caitlin.
Caitlin, and you are?
Albert.
Albert. How's it going, guys? All right, I'm going to show you a trick, and I'm going to teach you how it's done. I want to be as fair as possible during this entire process. Caitlin, will you do me a favor and hold out your hand, palm up? And I want you to count all those matches. Tell me exactly how many matches there are, and I want you to verify that there's none left inside.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Excellent. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick one of those to be the magic match.
Here's the magic match.
All right, entrust Albert with the magic match.
Here you go.
Do not let anyone take the magic match. All these other matches, I want you to hold them up in a group. Bundle them all together. These are all poser matches. They mean nothing to us, okay? And I'm going to take one of the poser matches, and I'm going to we'll go ahead and strike this. And in fact, we will execute all the poser matches. All right, now go and wave that out. There you go. Put that back in there. And put all the poser matches back in their coffin because they are dead to us. They mean nothing. All right? Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to hold this matchbook. Hold that in one hand, palm up. Put the other hand right on top. Make sure there's no way I can get in there. And all I want is the magic match. At this point, you can give it up. You've done well in your duty of holding on to the magic match. And I'm gonna do a little something, all right? Here we go, watch closer, here. Look inside. Go ahead and count them. We started off with 9, right?
Yeah.
And hold them out, show the camera. Count them out and show the camera.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And there's one that's a little bit different.
Yes, the magic one.
The magic match.
Yes.
Now, did you like that? Do you want to learn how to do that?
Yes.
Aha! That's Canadian enthusiasm. All right, here's what you do. First of all, if you start off with a full book of matches,
It's gonna take forever to count.
that's too many to count, right? I use a few. Pick out the ones we're gonna use. Okay, that's enough. We'll just get rid of the rest of them for now. And here's what you do. You push the box in and you set one extra match and you pinch it just inside so that you can open it up, and by holding on to the back here, I hold on to this and so you can open and close it just like so. You put the rest of the matches in there. You close it not quite all the way, but enough to where it looks pretty closed. Now you can handle the matches, you can shake it around, you can pull it out of your pocket and nobody's gonna suspect anything, right? You hold out the matchbook, have them hold out your hand. You open it, making sure to keep the magic match wedged over here, and you dump them out as fairly as you can. Go ahead and count the matches. How many do we got?
10.
Okay, 10 matches. So you have somebody pick a magic match. It doesn't matter which one, but you make a very big deal about how you're to make sure nobody steals the magic match, right? And then you take the remainder matches, bundle them all up. In fact, put all the heads on the same side. Now just hand me one of the matches, and I'll go ahead and start this, hold the rest out, and you kill all the matches. This is always good because everybody likes fire. We got one more. There we go. Now we've killed them all. Okay, add this one back. And then again, you open up the matchbook, give them plenty of room to put them all inside. And then when you close it, the action of closing it all the way flush will drop that extra match inside, right? And again, you know all the work is done, but they don't. So you'll have them hold out your hand, palm up. You put the other one right on top, make sure there's no way I can get to it. Put your other hand on top, there you go. And now the magic match, right? Now in this case, you just gotta vanish a match. Look on the internet, there's a million different ways to vanish an object. You can do something called the French drop and make it disappear. You can actually, you could do what they call a retention vanish and make it disappear, where you pretend like you're tossing it from one to the other. You can toss it back and forth and put it and then vanish it. It's super. In this case, all I did, this is the simplest way to vanish something. It's called the fake take. Hold out your hand, palm up. Set the object in there. Then what you want to do, to practice this, you can just let your hand drop down to the side. You'll notice when the hand is relaxed, the fingers naturally curve. So what we do is just practice going from this to this, from this to this. And then you add in the action of pretending to reach in and pick something up. You pretend to pick something up and just drop that hand. But you keep your eyes looking at it. And in this case, all I did is once my hand went down, I just dropped the match on the floor because nobody's watching the floor. So you pick this up like this, you drop the match, you go. And have them look inside. And not only are there the original number of matches, but there's one unburned match, the return of the magic match. You like that?
Yeah.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. You guys are fantastic.
Thank you.
Now remember, one of the keys to pulling off this scam is maintaining the test conditions. Make sure that magic match stays in one hand. Make sure the rest of the matches are carefully cataloged and kept in another hand. When that magic match appears inside the box, inside their hands, you've got a minor miracle on your hands. If you like this effect, make sure to check out Dan Martin's other stuff at his website. He's got amazing magic. I know you're gonna like it quite a bit.
Don't forget, if you have any success stories of this scam or of any of the other ones or failure stories, make sure to post them at the boards at revision3.com/scamschool. Any questions about this scam, or if you want to propose your favorite bar scam, write me directly at brian@revision3.com. Next week, a very special episode. There's a deadline coming, and we're going to teach you how to convert your analog TV set into a digital one using a calculator from Casio. Until next time, I'm going to head back and get myself a drink. Do you know who we love this much here at Scam School? Our sponsors at GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy.com makes it easy to customize.
All right. Yeah, they ain't paying us. Skip that. We are currently neutral on where you get your websites. Yeah. All right. So this was, let's start with that end part. How about that foreshadowing of the kind of program that Brian would be fascinated by? Just as though it's the most casual thing that everybody should know. In 2008, we were approaching the deadline where analog broadcast televisions were all flipping to digitals in order to save bandwidth. This is all common knowledge that everybody was thinking about at the time, right? Of course, that impulse would later lead to the kind of friendship that would lead to me and Tom Merritt creating proto versions of what is now Cord Killers, where we're constantly fascinated by the shifting meta in the competitive landscape of how broadcast or the gatekeepers of cable, satellite, internet, streaming services, all that stuff work. If you guys are not checking out Cord Killers, man, that's another one. That one is ready to pop. Be there live every Tuesday, except for this Tuesday. It might be on Wednesday. Nope. It might be on Sunday. Yeah, let's do a little bit of housekeeping before I go through the answers on all that stuff. Tomorrow morning, in 24 hours, I board a plane and fly out to my gig in Florida. Last chance reminder, if you are anywhere near the Tampa area, just hit me up. You can at me on X, @Schwood. You can hit me up at brian@schwood.com and drop me an email. Let me know if you're in the area. I'm doing an all-day workshop on Monday that, to be honest, I could use a hand on. So if you're around and want to work the event instead of attending it, let me know. And then I'm the closing keynote at the Convene Security Conference on Wednesday. So my head is going to be fully engaged in that gig. So there'll be a break. This will be the last office hours until maybe Friday of next week. I think we might have to take 5 days off, which I won't be a stranger though, because guys, I'm beginning to figure out that the post tab in YouTube is horribly underutilized by me. I think part of it is because Scam School and Modern Rogue for many years had two totally different identities. Part of that was because of various entanglements, but now we're at a place where I could do both. And as best I can define it, Scam School is always magic and deception focused. Right now, we're looking back on the vast back catalog because there's a lot of folks that this is all new to them. And then Modern Rogue, of course, is more present tense as I'm out on the road and broader in scope, not just deception. But for both of them, I am endeavoring to use the post tabs, and certainly I try to clear that comment queue as often as I can. But the one place you can definitely 100% of the time get your boy 5 days and going, the stake continues, is at patreon.com/modernrogue. Everybody in that chat, every single word gets seen. In fact, I'm going to make sure nobody said anything interesting since I last checked a few hours ago. Oh, there it is. Aha. The stake continues. There you go. All right, now we'll go on back. Oh, all but the free tier gets chat. So throw in a trivial amount of cash on there. And let's go back to this. Okay, a few thoughts. Number one, I still have that shirt somewhere. I have to be very skinny to fit in that shirt. I think I'm cracking 142 at that time. I was always very big on very diligently tracking my biometrics. So I think I'm 142 pounds in order to fit in that shirt. I'm a little bit above it now. Not impossibly above it, but I've also put on a decent amount of muscle. But let's be honest. 16 years will put a gut on you. But these guys were great. I'd say outside of a little bit of sloppy pacing, I did like the section where I just rattled off a bunch of different ways to vanish matches. I thought that was pretty good, and those were all good keywords. This is before Penn and Teller Fool Us was essentially doing the exact same thing on national television. When they give their carefully worded, probing questions at the end of each Fool Us routine, they're essentially spelling out a bunch of Googleable keywords that will give anyone the direction to how to learn everything on there. And of course, they must never say that on the show because the magicians would be afraid. But meanwhile, magicians are too busy trying to get on the show because it's a rad showcase. But that was my attempt to do essentially the same thing at around that same time. Let's see. Yeah, I think that was the big one. Okay, place your bets. How many views did you guys think? How many views did you guys think were on this episode? Now, I already tipped the fact that it didn't perform as well as Scam Hot Chicks at the Bar. But if you said 12,000 views, you'd be right. But what's funny is here, check this out. As we go through, first of all, thumbs up. Oh, you can't thumbs up a comment that old. Skip all ads in all episodes. Oh, yeah, I replied to that one just earlier. Judith did as well. That's good. Yeah, when these all were, these early ones were all shot in a pre-YouTube era. Then they all showed up in a clump, and some got views, and others didn't. And then 15 years after you wrote this, I replied, XOXOXOX. Right. There we go. If we were in the year 2000, oh yeah. Matches. They're coming back, baby. No comments on this one either. So many comments incoming. Everyone, grant Crazy Connor TV's wish. Is this episode 70? Number 29. It's all it's all here. The most helpful thing I could do would be DCTVpedia. There we go. Scam School Show list. See whether or not that link works. Come on, baby. You got this. You got this. You got this. You got this. You got this or not? Egads. Scam School show list. You can be there. Maybe I'll copy it from another confirmed place. Well, that's very odd indeed. Where is... Why, oh why? Oh, have we crashed DC TVpedia? I may have to reach out to the web administrator on that particular web zone. Oh no. There we go. Okay. Hurry up, Linked. A prompt reply is important. Doggone right. I'm always afraid that the website will just go down. Because I don't know how bot-friendly that one is. But DCTV is a work of art. All of Diamond Club crafted together this extraordinary document. DCTVpedia. There we go. Hey, it did work. It's all here. // enter. Whoops. I am sad I can't like your 15. I'm sad YouTube won't let me like this 15-year-old comment. Right. There we go. Okay, and then we get to this. So on the Scam School list, where are we at? We're at Dan Martin's match trick. I do think it's funny. These fun facts. Here's a fun fact. Look, I love you, Jonathan Pritchard, but what a fun fact that Jonathan Pritchard can be seen sitting next to Brian in the opening montage. That is good hustle, Jonathan, and I approve. Yeah, man. Oh wait, is next episode the advent of the proper C block? That will be transformative. If so, we saw the proto version, we saw the stumbling into it before I saw the wisdom of it, but also I think the real impetus for it was most importantly that need to cover a second ad slot. I think when a second ad happens, speaking of which, we're going to come up on another arc soon where there's an entire year, 2 years, where everything was massively stunted on the growth of the channel because of a company called Vessel. Do any of you guys remember Vessel? They essentially paid YouTubers to degrade their own channel by holding back all of their videos by 1 week so that the real premieres could happen over on Vessel. I think it was Vessel. I hope I'm remembering that correct. Yeah, and Princess Judith, I also remember, in fact, I think that's when I met David Mager, a journalist that'll be a good excuse to look him up and see how he's doing. We'll find that out on a follow-up. Okay, I think, let's look at the agenda, the rundown. Yeah, all I had was to make sure to talk about the security conference that I'm headed out to. Oh, new episode launch. That's right. We do have a new... Oh, man. I guess now you guys got me chasing a rabbit hole. Let's ask a robot. There we go. What was the company Vessel? Were they a competitor to YouTube? We'll see. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's crazy. Yes and no. Okay. it was meant to be complimentary and that they paid. We'll talk about this. I don't think I'm under any NDA obligations, but I've got Dish. Maybe we'll have Tom Merritt on and we could do a special remembering Vessel. That would be fun. That'd be fun. That's a good question, Not Scary Steve. Let's see. So if you guys are new around here, we just did a couple of new episode launches. It's been a busy week, 3 weeks. So the Human Blockhead one launched yesterday, but we're in the middle of Scoundrel having a moment. So I don't know. I'm kind of glad that that I care more that the Human Blockhead doesn't distress the upward momentum of Scoundrel, because this is a solid one. Scoundrel, the retention graph stays nice and long. We keep people long enough that they get to the whole point of the game, and then after that you see a fairly organic leveling off on there. And people are sticking around longer, and the click-through rate is high. So this is the all-star. This is over the weekend is when, if this one's going to pop, it'll pop from 5.8 to 6. Now, meanwhile, I've released 2 uploaded videos since this one came out. And that is off book, but that's one of the nice things about being in an experimental phase is there are certain things that we're starting to see the shape of, like our daily live streams. God, a whole 5 days? It's going to be 5 days till we get to hang out again. And other things we still get to be highly experimental with, including this one taking advantage of different audio track modalities. If you guys haven't seen it, right now, the title and the thumbnail is all about the novelty of the system. And the hope was perhaps it would be so novel that enough of it would get scrubbed enough that the entire video could have over 100% watch time. But because in order to, the justification of it, the explanation was that you could watch the loops more than once. I suspect the video is just too long. I think the whole video, maybe to be tactically advantageous, should be only 90 seconds long, just barely longer than that. But that is not a gift to the viewer at home. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty cool. Here, this is what it is. Whoa. What is going on up here? It has been a minute since I've tinkered around, hacked a system, one might say. And here's what I got this time. First of all, this is the Devil's Coin Paradox. It's
Entire net worth. Every time you flip the Devil's Coin, you're gambling everything. Rule net worth. They would spend it every single week. And then one day, our first chair violinist said, hey, let's flip. Oh, they didn't do nearly as well. But still,
So
after
this
just
is
100 flips, they're on their way to...
This is actually a great thought experiment that I really encourage you guys to go through. But you'll notice that neither the thumbnail nor the title talks about what a cool thought experiment it is. Instead, it is currently selling the novelty of this, which is a crowded market right now in the meta. It turns out that shortly after I published this, I saw like 7 other videos chasing the same novel thing. And when you have that many competitors, the cleanest message tends to be the one that gets through, which is why the first video had the cleanest message, because it was also the shallowest message. And then, for this to be fully appreciated, you have to go through 7 layers of recursion to really get the entire thing, which is an awful lot to ask for. So I'll probably tweak the title and thumbnail on this to explain that it's the Devil's Coin Paradox and that this is a definitive way to experience it. But meanwhile, if you look at the retention data, yeah, I see this guy's kind of drifting into low-end net positive territory. So I'm glad I did it, but it was kind of a wild card. And to be honest, we're at a phase where what the algorithm really wants is, yo, my guy, just what are you saying and who's it for? Let me figure out. And the answer is, of course, I'm figuring that out too. And so we're just staring at each other from across the room. But we're drifting up to 3% open rates on this, which is good. There we go. We'll do that. But look at that retention graph. Let's do the engagement. Here we go. Look at this. So yeah, the first minute is over 100% the entire way through, which is long enough in theory. So all the repeats as high as 154 at the beginning. So you can tell what the story this tells is people are hitting play, and then they're changing the language, and then they're just dragging back to the beginning. And then some people are continuing to watch, but a completion rate, yeah. And there's really not even a reason to get to the end if you get it by this point. So around 150. So if I had this to cut again, which I do get that chance, I can record a different explanation of it and put this on the Scam Nation channel at a different time and get a different bite at that apple. But I suspect that's the sweet spot. If we cut it off at 150, I think it might algorithmically pop, and I will also not make the title and thumbnail about the novelty of the explanation, or of the novelty of the modality on there. Uh-oh. I just got an alert. We're about to have dogs incoming. I'll end this. Can't wait. There we go. So this one was a noble experiment, and I think it was worth doing. There might be tweaks if I put it on the Scam Nation channel, but now we're bumping up against how many real-time minutes Brian has at any given time. And then yesterday, thank you so much for everybody who showed up for the premieres. I love that there's a unambiguous real-time unambiguous real-time check-in on the chat, which is why I love the patreon.com/Modern Rogue Chat and also all of these live premieres. That was a good one, Kurometariku. There's no drone. Yeah, just don't do a video like this where the series is a lot of video. So what happens then, the alternative, Princess Judith, and the reason I haven't done anything is they're all vertical shorts. So I would have to figure out a novel way. You know what? It could be a video short that goes on the left side and then allows it to loop, and then the next one comes in, and it takes the audio focus and completes the loop, and then the next one in, and then it just happens to have those alternate audio tracks, but that's not a stated homework job. That would be interesting. Yeah, that maybe there would be something there. Last other thing, the Dungeon Crawler Solitaire is currently popping. That's pretty great. I hope this momentum continues so that it gets past 1 million, partly because it's doing such a great job of feeding the main episode, which is a good episode. The good episode is very congruent with the direction I'd like to do many more in the future. That was almost a sentence. I almost worded right. So in this case, we are at, a steady sub 100. I expect that today will look a little bit like this. But really, everything is going to depend on whether or not the impressions, if this has shown up in enough feeds and 5 days into it, or I guess a week into it, it's like this is the lazy Saturday to watch it, then it has a chance to take off and rock it. Yep, I think we also encountered that as well. Princess Judith is it's a heavy lift to ask people to touch and do things. In general, I see about an 80% drop off per click, and in order to complete that run, you have to click an awful lot of times. But I guess that's it for today, guys. Unless you got something else for me last minute, I may go live Oh, you know what? We will be live tomorrow for Cord Killers. So I will see you guys tomorrow for Cord Killers. I don't think there'll be a Scam School tomorrow. It'll be just maybe a traditional office hours if we're able to do anything. But you guys are the best. I will see you guys laters. Bye, you beautiful people.